Hello everyone. So today I wanted to talk about my process of doing storytelling with what I learned from like our decade of experience into animation movies, VFX, mostly animated movies. And, and yeah, everything that it's a process that I experienced over the years, definitely. So I know there are plenty of books like you have Story Brand, you have The Narrative of Storytelling, or other couple books like this. You also have a great book about definitely the archetype in storytelling that the Jung created, the 12 archetype that now people use it to define the brand archetype that you need. So if you're a caregiver, if you're a warrior, if you're the alchemist, anything like this that define the way you speak with your brand, that define the way you promote your brand. Sorry, the way you, yeah, the way you put it in front of people and talk about it. And also, yeah, like I hear so many times all over social media, YouTube or TikTok sometime or like whatever, and that always like fascinated me in some way because it's not true. It's like people think there is a secret formula that Pixar has or big studio have for storytelling. Spoiler, there are none. It doesn't, there is no secret formula. And like, even like people from like Pete Doctors from Pixar at Cadmill, who literally created the 3D animation that we know today, uh, they sell themselves like it's a messy process. It is what it is. Even Chris Sanders, who created literally like Lilo and Stitch, or who worked as well in like How to Train Your Dragons or other movies like this, they have the same way of thinking. It's like it's a process. It can be messy sometimes because that's what it is. I remember like the first time people I was in school in Paris, and people they're like they were bringing people from the animation movie world, because in Paris you have many studios, Micros Animation, you have like now since couple of years you have Illumination MacGuff that is doing Minions, um, and Super Mario recently, and others movie. And yeah, it's like because when you're at school and you study animation, they're telling you, okay, look at this beautiful diagram, and like everything is so like is so well structured and explained, and you're like, oh, that sounds super like like it's like a flow. It's super easy, and when you have actually um, experienced people like coming to school and showing you this kind of diagram, and you have all this arrow bring one part of like one department to another one, then go back to this department. Like you take the modeling, you go to the rigging, then you go to the rigging to the lighting, or like everything start to be a little messing around, and it's fine because it's literally the animation process. And because at the beginning, yeah, when you're at school, you're like, oh, so it must be something like very fluid, very like perfectly well structured and everything. So sure, there is some structure to it. There is a lot of structure to it, but sorry, when you work actually in production, it's you have to deal with deadlines. You have to deal with creativity. You have to deal with narrative. You have to deal with technical aspect as well, like rigging, like lighting, animation, storyboards, layout, literally everything, plus the pipeline itself. And all those things combined, well, it's a different story. From the time you hear it, when you're actually in school, you're making your short movie, so you're doing everything from the script to designing the character to modeling characters. Um, I learned with Maya 3D software, but yeah, you have like Yeah, many of the software like 3ds Max. Now more and more I use Blender as well because it's free. It's open source, so it's perfect to use it. It takes a little time to adapt to it, but yeah, it's just wonderful. And one of my first like when I was in Paris, one of my first studio I worked because I was in a school where you have to do 2 weeks like 1 week at the school, 1 week in a company, and back and forth. So it's more like alternate learning process. And it was perfect because in a couple of years in Paris, I worked for one post-production studio for 2 years. So doing like motion graphic effects or like color grading uh, or like what did I do else? Yeah, color grading, After Effects. I use it as well. And I also use like Unreal Engine. I never thought about using it, but yeah, one day I remember the CEO of the company came to me and told me, Alex, I have this. It was the first like VR helmet that you can use to create virtual reality, and he brought it to me on my literally on my desk and told me, Alex, do something with it. And I was like, perfect. So I have to create something that I have no idea what it is with a helmet. I have no idea how it works. And it was the first one released, so it was years back. And I was like, okay, so I have to find out how it works. At the time, there wasn't much AI. There wasn't like it was just like you have to experiment. I learned everything by experimenting, and we will talk about AI also as well, because more and more I will also create like um, private AI for a client, and yeah, it's like it's another deal AI, but it's so fascinating. And yeah, so he brought to me like the helmet, and literally from one day to another, I had to figure out how to create like a VR experience with the helmet and creating a studio and everything. So I learned Unreal Engine in a couple days. I learned how to model, how to map out, or to do lighting and everything. And it was fun to do. It was super fun to do. So I did this, and yeah, it was like it was amazing because I was mixing Maya plugin with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine usually use it mostly for a game. And at my school, I was like learning animation movie. So drawing, I spent also a lot of years, like I'll show you after, but a lot of years, like also doing drawing and everything. And yes, like I will show you guys on Instagram, like what I do with the drawing nowadays. But because that's basically like how I learned drawing. So yes, it's mostly like I will get this thing. So yeah, it's like I learned drawing with like paper and pencil. So basic way to learn the drawing, really. And it's like literally I learned it the way where like you do the first. I remember in school I did the first drawing, and then from the first drawing it was like, okay, you spend hours doing the drawing because you have no like you have to conceptualize the volume and everything. And at that time, I didn't conceptualize into volume. So you do the drawing and everything, and then you're like basically you read the paper, and then you redo it. And after like my master at the time, my mentor, um, he told me the perspective of like using volume. So that's why like that's how I do the character now. So using like volume, shaping character, line of action, I learned all this thing, learning in a way where like you struggle at the beginning, then it became easier. You do expression, you do posing, you do very different style. And yeah, like using shadow as well to create characters only with shadow. This is what digital, doing props like this as well. So literally like creating a universe. That's what I do now with clients. Just sometimes I do the graphic. Also, I do storytelling since a year now, a little bit more than a year has a business. before I was into animation movie for decades, and I structure my offer in a way where I focus first on the storytelling. So focusing on the storytelling is like that's how it looks at the end. So basically, this is only one client. She's a client. She's gonna be a life coach in a few, and yeah, we worked on it and like the start is like brainstorming. So it's like brainstorming. So this is in French, but I do the same in English. This is the brainstorming. So here for me is like brainstorming is the same that we do in animation movie. They do also in gaming. It's like you start by you need ideas at the beginning. So it's like what kind of story can you come up? And to come up with a story, you need to think like, okay, what do I like? What interests me? Or like, what do I have in mind right now? Usually with business is more like when I work with my client, I understand first is like where, like, why are you creating your business? Why is the meaning of your business for you? What does it mean? What is your vision for it? And how you want to help people. Also, what did you do before? So what is your background in terms of like what are your passion in life? What are like what kind of client you will have to have? What is your story as like how what is your like what is your journey from when you were like when you start your first job to now, or sometime even before when you were like teenager or anything, like the kind of passion that you have, because sometimes people don't realize it, but they deep inside them, they have passion, they're attracted by different things, and sometimes they never realize it. But what I always tell them is that everything makes sense at some point. The goal of storytelling is that you have to connect, literally connect ideas that shouldn't be connected in the first place, or that you never thought they will be connected in the first place, and you have to connect them. And that's the true power of storytelling. And what one thing I really realize with my clients so far is that all the time, either re reconnecting with themselves. They're like Alex, I I see myself as I never saw myself before, or like I'm totally connected to myself right now. Because storytelling is like a puzzle, it's like a music, and it has a rhythm to it. Like any animation movie, there is a rhythm in the animation. A story has a structure. Storytelling is the structure of the story, and yes, like when you build it with using one of your passion or one of the thing you like how will be your perfect universe if you have to describe it. That helps a lot bringing a story to life, and that helps a lot to bring in some kind of like uniqueness to the story and uniqueness to like your universe. Everybody's different, and I see it like with my clients, they are all different. This one, like that I showed you the map, she's like her background is very like focused on like martial arts or very structured thing, even mentally prepared or anything from military. She's gonna be a life coach, and that's amazing. Another one, she's like doing like promoting an AI software based on like crypto or something like this. Another one, they're doing like medical software to help doctors for clients. Very very interesting software and very well designed in the way of like UX thing for the clients and the simplicity of it. Yeah, another one, she was like coming from corporate, and now she's more into wellness for like people and helping people from corporate to realize that the world of corporate is not the real life, in the sense that uh, you have to health first, well-being first, then work and everything like this. So yeah, Another one, I helped her create a story for a photography trip to Italy. It's like they are all so different. And that's what I think is truly magical is that they are all from different backgrounds. They are all have their story that I learn every time, and I'm fascinated by it. And yeah, and it's like this where you like so you do like this, then you do role play where you're like, okay, if you have a magic object, what it is, where you can find it, what is the shape of it, everything. Also like I name it going, but it will be the spokesperson. The planet, if you're a planet, what it is, what is the atmosphere of it. If you're a spokesperson, like, how is it dressed? Is it human? Is it an animal? Like, is it an alien? What is it? What kind of form of life? Enemies? What are your enemies? There's like different role game, archetype brand also, like what kind of archetype you have, and everything is like defining the brand by understanding more about yourself, understanding more about your story. What made you come up with your business in the first place? Where do you want to go with your business? How you want to help your client? Everything that makes it consistent and working with it helps to create the universe. And yeah, definitely like after it's like shaping the map in terms of like so working like what is the brand? What is the main character? What is the conflict inside the brand that you need to solve for your client? What is the why, how, the what? Understanding also the philosophy of the character. What are their internal struggle, external struggle, philosophic approach to it. So I know there is this book like Story Brand that where the Brent like Miller, yeah, if I remember the name correctly, was the author of the book. Summarize it as like you have the internal struggle, external struggle, and the philosophic one. And basically, it's everything I experienced in animation movie, just in a little different way. So he named it differently on his book, but it's basically what I experienced in animation movie for years. Everything I read in books about storytelling, about also sometimes marketing is like it's literally everything I experience in the animation movie world. How you create a universe, how you create a compelling story, how you create compelling characters. The application with the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell. Basically, you take Star Wars fourth. Its the application of the hero's journey from Campbell. The third act. First, you initialize the story with bringing the universe, bringing the character in the universe, like everyday life, and then suddenly one thing happened. Then from that, Act Two, all the journey. So all the obstacles, everything like this. You have the final battle, final fight. So after it depends on the theme. If it's more like the feeling good style, like you have in the Devils Wear Prada, whereas more like a victory in the way that the character learn and grow internally. The growth of the character throughout the story, and that's more something like this that you definitely learn. Is different from like example if killing the dragons, like if you take Formula One movie, literally it's more like a dragon vibe where Brad Pitt is always chasing like this kind of victory with the race and this kind of like moment that he always try to find where he feel at ease with the car, he feel one with the car, with the circuit, with the race, and he just fighting his own demons basically. And the demon is the car, is the racing, the speed and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. After you have different film like this, you have travel as well, more like the Hobbit journey or like the Lord of the Ring or stuff like this. It's more about like the literally the travel purpose of like the character. So with the first like false arrival, then you have like everything happening. You have the final arrival, final battle, and everything is like bring back to normality in some way. And yeah, every story is like built like with this kind of like patterns, narrative patterns that makes the story. So you have different narrative, different theme, different archetype, and mixing them up, building on them, you create the whole storytelling. And the process is literally this. And here, for example, I do the storyboard. The storyboard is a better way to visualize, and I do it with the client because I realize that on top of shaping the story, it's more a Google Doc that I do with all the story. I will show you one after, but it's more like on the side of like writing the story. I use the storyboard because it helps also client visualize literally the story and visualize what happened. And a storyboard is it's so perfect for it because I realize more than one client, like when I go over the story with them, a lot of time they're like, wow, there's so much to learn. It's so details and everything, like because sometimes it's like what, 6, 7, 10 pages maybe. Sometimes less, but usually more around 5 to 10 pages. And because it's very like I detail it as much as I can without creating an entire book. After the idea is that if you want to create a book from it, you can definitely. That's the whole goal. At the end is like create a book for your business. And currently I'm helping a client to create a book for Amazon about like recipe, about food, or a love for food, and from all her region, from like, pardon me, she's from Algeria, from also she spent a lot of time in Europe. She's now in Canada, and yeah, it's like all her roots plus her journey and everything that we put in the book. And yeah, like I help her to structure the book, to structure the story in it, to find the vibe to it, the rhythm to the book, to the story as well, and to find that kind of flow from one chapter to another because everything is linked together. It's not like one block, then one block. Everything is like in Kung Fu Panda when you have the chi. Um, it's like Kung Fu Panda. The chi. I don't know how to write it, but oh yeah, the chi. Yeah, this way. Yeah, the vital energy of life force that flows through all living things. It's in the third one, but yeah, it's literally like yeah, like this kind of vibe, like the chi, for those who get the reference. And that's how I picture every time stories like it's like that chi that is there. It's the flow of life, it's the flow of the energy, and storytelling is all about the energy in the story, the energy, how you put your energy in your business, how you explain it to people, and to have something else to say at the end. And okay, like that's what I do. That's my product. Do you want it? Uh, no one care about a product. No one care. Like literally, if you have 10%, like I remember one time at a networking event, presenting like saying that I was doing the storytelling, but in my way. And I remember I came up and like everybody was doing marketing, not storytelling, like marketing, branding, or marketing. So social media and everything like this, but just promoting the business, not shaping the story or anything. And it was like, wow, everybody was almost telling the same thing. In maybe one or two were a little different, but it was almost this. I could have done a copy paste of the pitch. It was pretty much the same. And I was like, wow, that's literally what you guys don't want to have, literally. And I was like, oh my goodness, wow, somebody helped them with like the story or anything because yes, it's like, and at some point it's not boring. It's just that when you hear it, you're like, why should I believe in what you say, or like, what is your vision or anything? People need a vision. People need to hear, to see a path. Okay. People need to know where they are going with you and to see that transformation that will happen in their life. Because without transformation, well, it's flat. Everything falls flat. The whole point of storytelling is to explain, to tell, to show the transformation to a client, to show them why they should work with you to have a better life in any way. Like you take tax because it was like almost the tax time a few days ago or a few weeks. You take I don't know, finance, insurance, take whatever you want, dentist or anything. It's a transformation in life. And the thing is that how you explain that transformation, like what the outcome you sell more than the product itself. It's like when you drive a car and there's a turn, do you focus on the turn itself or do you focus on like the outcome of it? Like what's after the turn? I always learn that you have to focus what's coming after. And yeah, it's like this vision where I believe, for example, in parallel universe and in the fact that sometime in our dreams, what we dreams were like all the lives that are happening in parallel or anything, and somehow there is a connection to it. And quantum physics is part of explaining it in some way, but yeah, the quantum state and everything. I like that kind of science, like the quantum physics and everything. I learn it on the side and everything on top of AI. I really like tech and everything like this, but yeah, what I mean is that the chi, the essence of life, the essence of the energy of the flow or anything is like what goes throughout in life from one people to another. And yeah, it's like this feeling. And when I create a story with my clients, I always have this feeling that for that client, it was literally this. The more I was listening to her, the more I was picturing the story immediately. The more she told me about her story, what she faced before in terms of struggle or anything, because our thing is that when you create a story, you need drama. Whatever the story you're building, you need drama. Without drama, there is no story. And you watch the better movies or anything, there is always drama. Always. Either when people get killed or either you have an injury or the character has an injury or anything, there is always some drama to add or like mental crisis or anything. Because the drama bring the struggle and humankind is struggling for anything. In society, there is a struggle for everything. There is a struggle to live, to have the best quality of life, to bring enough food for your family or for you to have a decent life or everything, to pay to have some vacation. Everything is like you don't accomplish anything without a minimum of struggle. And that's the entire goal of storytelling also, like putting up the drama so people will connect to your characters, people will connect to your story. And yeah, for real, literally, like there is a struggle, there is like out outside of the forest, so like learning the path to structure the mental, to structure the mindset and everything. And yeah, so we did the storyboard, and when she sees the storyboard, she literally picture, she's able to visualize the story. And that's super important because for visual people, yeah, like if they are more into like visualizing the story, then put a storyboard. And storyboard is like like storyboard is what when you do an animation movie, and that's the very difference between an animation movie and a live action one, is that when you do live action movie with actors and everything, the storyboard they do it, but the thing is that they don't go back to it. So it's like they do a storyboard, but pretty much is very so storyboards are pretty rough usually. But after that, it's just they film everything, they shoot every sequence, every shot. But what they are done, and it's mostly they are doing the movie in the editing part, so post production. And all the text and everything, when they're coming to post production, that's the time you edit the movie by like putting shot together, adding the audio, adding the sound effect, adding the visual effect. And also that's the time where you start to cut in the movies because you wanna stick with the budget, and usually I don't know any movie would stick with the budget. You can take Rapunzel, you can from Disney. So the name in English is Tingle, and they literally like that is this one, Tingle, yeah. They literally exploded the budget. Gunkin was the animation director of that movie. I know he directed the movie in some way. I'm not sure about the animation director, but I know he directed the movie. He did so many like 2D drawing to see like the animation of that girl and everything, and it was a challenge for the hair. It was the first movie where they had this length for her for the girl, and there were many, many, many problems with the hair. They had to rebuild an entire. They almost created an entire software system just for the air to be able to handle the animation, the flow of animation for the air because it's almost a living thing, the air in Tangle. And like you see here, and they literally build an engine to shape and to be able to control the air system. I don't remember exactly if they build it in some kind of Maya software or if they'll build it apart and they plug it in the 3D software. But yeah, that's literally like what they did. And it was a crazy challenge for them. At the beginning, they were like almost trying to beg Green King to not animate the air, but yeah, he didn't picture it as like that. So he told them, whatever, we're animating the air. And at the beginning, it was completely mess. And they figure out. Because also, what I learned is that when you tell story, when you want to animate movies or anything, and that's also the beauty of AI nowadays, and we'll talk about it after, but they were facing this challenge where it was something new, unexpected, and they never seen it before. Like in Nemo, when they had to figure out how to do the water, well, figure it out. And yeah, storytelling or like my way to learn is that I do reverse engineering and I like to understand why beyond everything, understand the conception of everything, understanding like the deep meaning of like what's about what everybody does for the client in life. Everything in life is storytelling. Everything. And yeah, so yeah, this movie literally when they animated, they figured out a way to animate the air, and after yeah, they succeeded. But it was a mess at the beginning. Like there were hair flying all over in the shot. It was like all the shots were breaking. Like it was yeah, it was a mess. And so yeah, it's like yeah, the storytelling. So I help her with the logo as well, with the name. Logo like there's plenty logo. I sometimes I use AI to the logo, but I use AI in a way where I explain the mindset of like what I want for the logo. I also take the reference and everything that I need to bring it up for the logo. Or I do it with Adobe Illustrator because it's vectors. And so vectors, the beauty of vectors that you can scale it as much as you want, or like downgrade, upgrade, like rescale, and it doesn't lose any quality to it because it's vectors. And yeah, like doing this or in Photoshop depends. Another client I did a logo with Photoshop. So it was a very big file at the end, almost like a 2 or 4K file or something like this, so she can like scale it because it was way too complex to do it with Illustrator. But mostly I do it with Illustrator, and yes, like finding the naming. Also in the naming is like also like helping with the fact that when you create a naming for brand. Don't say like I heard one time one potential client, I didn't work with him, but still is like he literally told me, yeah, I want to create a brand. What is your brand? Like you can speak or like whatever French, Italian, or whatever you want. And I was like, my God, that's for me. It was not. It's not a brand name because it's more like I'd say A brand is something that has to be either it's your name, if you want to do personal branding and you want to leave something behind you at the end of the journey, but or if you, like looking for a brand, the brand has meaning, okay? And it has to be meaningful, powerful, and if it's possible, short as well, because the more complex, the longer it is, the less people will remember it. So yeah. And so on the name, we worked on like kind of based on the style we defined for the storytelling, so Japanese style and everything. We worked on the brand like this. So many working on the history of Japanese culture and everything. And after a year, we set up like the semantics of what kind of word to use, the tone of voice, the do's and don't, because it's as much important that to know what to not say and to know what to say. I did it with a client for like an AI software, and yeah, literally when we did this, she told me, "Oh yeah, we had a meeting for like at work about this." I was like, "That's perfect." Call to action as well, very important. Editorial pillars for a website or like social media or whatever you want to build. The colors, meaning of the colors for your business. Color have meaning. Red is the passion, the love, the whatever you want. Blue is more the color of freedom, but after it can be like red can be the color of the affair, or like every color has meaning, but it's like what it means for your business. That's the most important thing. And it has a meaning for your business first. And when people see the color, it also needs to reflect the spirit of your business. That's even more important than anything else. And so yeah, and after we start to build, so I started to build for her like the kind of like world she will live in for her business. We started doing some kind of a video game with different level, different badge and everything. And so yeah, so that's the way it worked. But after like for another client, so this one, for example, I also created like a mascot, literally. I created so same work, and I created the like the mascot is like okay, it's a hummingbird, and like those are the color. I created the expression, the line of action, posing. That's what I did in animation for years. So yeah, I used Photoshop for it, and it was perfect. Like drawing art character, I use AI for reference because sometimes instead of going from a blank page, sometimes it's more efficient and faster to use AI for this because it can give you rough ideas, more maybe generic or anything, and you can build on it to be like, okay, but idea here, I don't want the ear like this, or the head should be like rounder or like anything else, and like the glasses should be a little bit different in the shape, but it gives you the sense, like the main idea, and based on it, you can build more. But yeah, like all those characters for me, there was always missing something for the last character. So I rebuilt, I did experiment, like the wings or anything like this to bring something like to bring the personality to the character, because also the character need to reflect your brand, need to reflect your product, what you're talking about or anything, and that's what you need. And yeah, with them we also like kind of like shape a layout for like how the business, how the website can look like with the colors or anything. So at the end, it won't look like this, mostly because instead of the fall, we decided to go more with the springtime. So color won't be like this, but for the idea of like the trees, they will keep the ideas from what I know. Maybe they will change it, but yeah. And instead of working with the logo, or you can create the menus, like being creative with the storytelling, with the world building, and all the aspect like this. Because like what I do is storytelling, but I call it cinematic brand world building, and yeah, like it's more something like this. Logo, the favicon, like trying to picture like how the world live, what the world look like, or anything like this, because it's super important for a brand. If you don't do it, how you expect like um how you expect basically people to picture their world and to explain it to their client. So also kind typography, what kind of typography they need to use or anything like this. So yeah, it's more the kind of where I work with my clients, the kind of mood board also because sometimes like they are also working on the marketing for like this client. They were working on the marketing at the same time. We're like rebranding their business. I need to hydrate myself. About. And so yeah, it's like they were working on the marketing side, and so I found it interesting to see what they were coming up with. And it was very like side of like very how to say very playful in some way or anything like this. So based on that, we start to shape like the story, confirming what I had in mind or anything like this. So that's how I work with like the storytelling for people. Probably this kind of like the structure of it, I will make it evolve. But so far, yeah, that's the way I work, and it's easy to understand in many ways. And yeah, it's like working like this, and also Midjourney. Midjourney, I use it a lot. Like also they have like this kind of thing organized or anything. Midjourney is really good. It's a good AI for creative people, for artists. For artists, it's really good because you can come up with many different style. You can try it, try different mood or anything like this. For it, it's good. For you see, mood board, Midjourney is more and more towards like creative people more than realistic. Why? Because when you watch it, like if you go into the Explorer, you can see that people who are using Midjourney are mostly artists. They want to create different style. They're experimenting, and that's amazing. You see, you cannot do videos with Midjourney, but for video, mostly I use like I'll show you guys. I use the Grok Imagine. Way more powerful, way more and way better uh, to do videos. Way better. Like you have 6 10 seconds. Also, you have all the aspect ratio. So for social media, 916, 69, like Instagram, Square, like YouTube, like TikTok, or whatever. Grok Imagine is way better for videos. Midjourney is okay, but there are many things that is not well. There are many things where I it's maybe a little bit too creative, and it doesn't like sometimes the style or something can be messed up in the videos or anything. So it can be interesting to develop, but it's more like a creative process. Midjourney is definitely like the creative process style. Because also Midjourney he has a big problem, in my opinion. It has the real human. Midjourney has a very big trouble with human and with creating, for example, if you want to create like, for example, super realistic crowd picture of 20 people looking a camera at a drone in the air in Tokyo. Let's do something like this. Settings, I'll say, yeah, 69 for all landscape, or we can do way more, 21.9. Okay, let's do 21.9. So cinematic landscape effect, like in videos, it's more this ratio 21.9. It's more when you want to show landscape. So Western, if there is a travel, a journey for the character is going through the land or anything, that's a good one because it's more focusing on the scenery itself than anything else. It's really good for that, and that's what we use it a lot in movies. It's like this aspect ratio. So let's say it like this, okay? Also, we can plug it. We can try to plug it like a camera. So maybe, for example, let's try a Leica. Okay, Leica. I will say something. Leica photography camera. Okay, let's say like this. Okay. So Leica, it's not Leica. Okay, that's Leica. So let's pick up a model. Uh, okay, like which one? Yeah, Leica IQ. Okay, this one. Yeah, I do photography as well. So I like Leica is a crazy brand for photography. Like it creates some kind of beautiful picture. So we'll okay, we'll like take the Leica Q3, Leica Q3. And focus aperture, let's say 5. And I'm not sure about the focus, like probably I should give him like a real lens. Um, they're like, yeah, okay, so F, yeah. I will say F/5. Let's see what he can come up with just this. And you just to show you what I mean by, or maybe it will tell me wrong. Maybe it will show like perfect human, real human with perfect like face or expression or anything like this. But usually, oh no, you give me a drone. Okay, okay. Well, he gave me a drone. So, but okay. So here. So the image is like good, but it doesn't serve what I was trying to say. It's just like for people. So super realistic crowd picture. Okay, people in Tokyo. Okay, I will do like this in Tokyo. Maybe it will give me the human instead of like the drone view because this is the drone view. But yeah, so it does like very great image. It just in terms of like human, when it's focusing on the face or anything, he has a hard time to really like match and do proper work with all the faces. That's what I realized with like or I say super realistic crowd people in Tokyo. Yeah, let's say like this. Okay, I will give him another one. But yeah, it's like, do we see it here? So, okay, this is realistic. Yeah, we don't see the other face there, but yeah, it's like, so this one, if there is one, it's okay. If there are multiple, there start to be a certain struggle for the, and is gonna prove me wrong today. Apparently, he decided to prove me wrong today, but um, because this one is the Midjourney 8 version. Does it say here? Nope, nope. So create. Okay. Yeah, we don't see the character at the, but here with the eye there is something weird happening here with the air crossing. Uh the light is super interesting. But okay, today you proved me wrong, but what I can tell you is that usually yeah, the eye is some kind of weirdness in the eyes, but okay. But yeah, if you want to try on your own, you type like multiple people picture walking in the street. Super realistic. Maybe the last one to see if he proved me wrongs or not. Maybe today's your lucky day. I don't know. But yeah, and instead of grok or stable diffusion, like if you guys know about this one, stable diffusion is another AI. Uh, Yeah, like stable diffusion. You can use it with uh liquid matrix because there is a software stability matrix. Yeah, that one. Because okay, this one you can read it on your computer. It's kind of like conf config UI, And it's basically like it can run stable diffusion on your computer, and it's much more lighter than Comfy UI, which is this one. Okay. Yep, Comfy UI. This one's super powerful, but yeah, it's like this one you can run stable diffusion that is really, really good. Uh, I'll do one video explaining this one as AI as well. But yeah, it's like yeah, the perfect. Like you have also Hasselblad. Yeah, crazy, crazy company. Not a lot of button for the but crazy good cameras. Like the render, so you have the V and the X system, and the render is oh wow, that's a beautiful one. Wow, so cool. Yeah, they're all like Swedes and Swedes from German. Hasselblad is how it's started. Hasselblad. Let me check it quickly. Beautiful. In the aerial, although, yeah, it doesn't tell me where it's. Yeah. Oh, Swedish Air Force. Okay. It's from Europe, that's for sure. Um, okay, but yeah, they're just beautiful, beautiful cameras and expensive, but beautiful. And yeah, it's like also like crazy, crazy good cameras. After you have all the Sony Alpha with the AI input, but very different. Each like cameras is own way to like picture everything and is own way for the color grading system as well. Built in, it's very different from one to another, but they're beautiful. They're just amazing. And so yeah, like photography, storytelling, what you can do with like Midjourney for the image. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Super realistic. Welcome to Midjourney. Give you a painting. You didn't ask her for it. Give you a painting. Okay. Well, so yeah. Well, in that case, so it was a completely fail for the people, but I can tell you that when there is more than one people in Midjourney, he struggles a lot with it. A lot. Or maybe people drinking coffee in Paris. Maybe like this, super realistic. Sony Alpha F F7 maybe. I'll see. Um, I know I should put more details for the camera preset, but let just like this, I'll see what I can come up with. And yeah, so yeah, but Midjourney I use it to like organize, yeah, like from one day to another, as you can see, I use it to, for example, to help with the storyboard process, to help with like because I do the storyboard either on Photoshop, but usually I use like here. For the client, I was using, okay, what is the kind of mood I can have with the full or anything like this. Also because it's very creative in the process. Like the Japanese style for my client, yeah, I try like different kind of style, the approach to see what it can come up with Japanese or anything, because it takes a couple of seconds to do it. And instead of like spending a crazy amount of hours in Photoshop, maybe to have this result, or maybe another one, but yeah, so I use AI to be more efficient in that way, and because it's here to give me ideas. I don't plan to do completely concept art with the picture. Like for example, I show you on Instagram, like what I do here. It take me time. For example, even if I do like this, like some kind of spider ideas with Chinese ink. For you guys who don't know, like Chinese ink is literally you put it on paper, you can't remove anything. So once you put it there and deal with it. So this is more like something I go without any reference or anything. I just draw and whatever comes to my mind, I draw it. Uh, Usually it's like almost cathartic in some way. Yeah, it just like I draw what I have in mind at the moment. And yeah, but you can't remove it at all. And this drawing took me 2 hours without any reference, without like a blank paper. But yeah, what I mean is that doing that or doing well that thing to experiment the colors or the vibe or anything, it takes times. It doesn't take seconds, maybe minutes or anything, but same thing. To do this doesn't take seconds, it takes minutes. Or take maybe seconds to do one pose, but after like you have one more pose to find, the pose you find the line of action or everything. So like even this, super simple, but takes time. And it's not seconds, it's minutes or anything. So AI helps to make it faster in the process. But if I have to do a logo, then yeah, definitely this was an Illustrator. Definitely I use Illustrator software, Photoshop or anything, but let me check another one. If I have here or not, it will depends, but well, no. I what I mean is that yeah, the software depends on what you want to do, and with the beautiful of like what AI is able to do right now, even in the movies itself, like I will show you something, a project that I have in mind, but yeah, it's like even in the movie, like being able to create that kind of visual with the painting style effect or anything, before it will take a lot of time. It will take like 3D, like even this, to do this. It's even this that I post on my Twitter or anything is very stylized or anything, but yeah, it takes time and like this thing is like it just imagine from Grok is very powerful for it and like they're improving it every day, literally. And yeah, it's like also you can see the Mustang. Like I watched John Wick the other day, and that's where you get the kind of car. But yeah, it's like it just to try different ideas, different process, or like what you can come with, and like yeah, Grok. Oh, this is a test I did for my client who is doing the kind of like gameplay. I tried this thing to see what AI can come up with, so super interesting. But yeah, just more like it just more yeah, like AI is able to do videos right now or anything. I saw the amount of time it take when I was into animation movie, like the amount of time it take to do one shot, to do lighting, to do the cinematic effect or anything, and now you are able to do it in a couple seconds, maybe minutes. Only thing is that, and please don't do like I see every time on Twitter or anything like, maybe I can see it on Twitter. See, maybe I will see it on the timeline of Twitter. Where is it? Oh, my my soccer team. It's very hard to be a fan of. Okay. If I type, let's say, if I type AI movies, what it can come up with, maybe it will give me. Okay, yeah. AI, AI. Okay, AI, AI. What I mean is that, yeah, people, maybe you see this tweet coming where like they're like, yeah, like this used to cost like this, like 60 millions or anything. I can make it in like couple seconds or anything. Sure, but there is one thing that you guys don't get at all. Everything is about the story. What story you tell with your videos. The thing that before in your 1990s or before 1960s or anything, Movies, there weren't any techie stuff. Like if you want to do crazy VFX or anything, they wasn't there at the time. There wasn't any software like Houdini software. Like for example, you have like the one for the VFX, Houdini VFX software. This one, literally, welcome to the magic. Procedural system. You can build water with it. You can build whatever you want. It's used in many VFX movies. In many 90% of the VFX you see in movies, within is somewhere behind, and it's crazy good. It's like very techy, but you can do so many. You can do like procedural like this. You can do very robust. You can do, for example, what you can do with Odin is literally you create a building, okay? Well building, maybe we'll see it here. You create a landscape, for example, and you want to have a forest like this. You can scatter all the trees and make a forest or anything, and it's crazy, crazy powerful. Okay, guys, it's just amazingly powerful. And no, nowadays I'm sure with AI, if you use like Gemini or anything, you can come up with like a script that you plug in Houdini and you can do many things with it, and it's crazy good. It's just crazy good what you can do with it, and you can learn Houdini, and yeah, it's like it's very procedural still style. It's very like yeah, it's just amazing what you can do with it, and all the VFX that are done with it. But before in the time, when you watch like Spielberg, uh, uh, oh no, Lucasfilm. Okay, Lucasfilm, Star Wars miniature maybe will give me something. Um, okay, yeah, like when you see this, you see all those like miniatures or anything for Star Wars. And back in the time, there weren't like those crazy software when you can do VFX with it, so they had to come up with like ideas on how to build this universe, and they were making props like this, and they were like making all VFX, like figuring out how to do it or anything like this, yeah, it was like it was the beautiful age of movies when there was not a lot of like software to do all those like amazing visual effects or anything, so they had to figure it out all the time. They had to figure out like movies, it's literally figure out a way to do it, literally, because movies, you can't say now to create some kind of movie. So in Star Wars, figure out a way to build a universe or anything. Blade Runner, yeah, this one 1982 set. Yeah, they like Blade Runner, they built everything on set, and yeah, they make up the rain or anything. Nowadays, a lot of it is made by computer. You watch Avatar, everything is computerized, and they use mocap. So Avatar is like they use mocap suit in Avatar. Yeah, they use this thing. Welcome to the beauty of Avatar, behind the scene. They use literally this thing when so here you have a camera, it's recording what the actor is doing, and literally after, using like, if I'm not mistaken, the word is like motion builder, with Maya. It's like Maya motion builder, mocap, something like this. Yeah. And you bring it into Maya and you start to polish the animation and clean the animation. You spend a crazy amount of time of cleaning your animation while keeping it super realistic. That's how they built Avatar, literally. And yeah, like I was in the VFX studio when they were making The Lion King or other movies, but yeah, it's like yeah, they were making all movies like this, and yeah, it just guys is the way to do visual effect, to do a realistic live action movie right now. And yeah, but it all comes back to the story, like how you do your storytelling, like it's how you bring up a universe and everything like this. And yeah, it's crazy powerful. It's and it bring out a totally different vibe to it, different universe, and that's what you need to do for your business to bring up something new, powerful. Also, when you bring it after for your website, yeah, Visual Studio Code. Okay, yeah, it's like so you see this code is like one prompt that I have here for like uh, for I can't remember where I have it, but I know I have it here. I will have to remember where it is, but yeah, it's like yeah, that's the prompt that after I reshape and reshape. But yeah, that's the prompt I use to create it. Something like I will show you guys document this one and this one. To create a website, I'm still working on it, but as you see, like the more open the world is, you can turn around or anything. It's only HTML and CSS. Only HTML and CSS. There's gonna be cinematic world building, and I'm gonna put some AI as well. And yeah, it's like it's one HTML sentence. You can move it. You can. There is some kind of animation. It's interactive. The system, my way to work. Also, yeah, I'm gonna build like AI videos for like business people or anything, creating mascot. But yeah, you see, every time you click on one, you have this tiny constellation of stars happening in the background. This is super interactive. Like you click on it, you can access to it. It's how you one file and you get this. And it was done with Gemini. Literally, it was done with Gemini. To show you what is possible to do with AI right now, it's crazy good. It's just crazy good. And if you, yeah, and to build your own like, but I will do another video about it. To build your own like local AI, there is like anything LLM like this that you plug it on your computer and you create the LLM, but a private one. So every file that you put on it is like there, and it doesn't like leak online or anything. So yeah, and for the yeah, so all this, the storytelling, the AI, the capability of the AI, it's a new world, and embrace it in many ways. And yeah, and I use Holema as a as also as my like private local AI. I use also like ChatGPT to be faster. I have some plugin as well that I use for website or anything like this. But yeah, like it just like what I used to do is that I use the brainstorming one here. I do all the ideas and everything. Once I know more about the story of my client and everything, I put things into the AI and I started doing some ping pong with the AI, saying, okay, that's how I picture the story. That's how I picture the conflict for the persona, what you can tell me about it. And that's the time where I structure with the AI. For example, if I see a good idea that I haven't thought about, I plug it in and I see how can I connect it to others. Or I'm like, okay, how can I say this thing in a different way? And I start to play with AI to see what it can come up with or anything. And that helped me build the world, build the story as well, and everything like this. Because in the story, I can do a first draft with ChatGPT. I go over the draft, like reshaping the structure of the story, reshaping the sentence, and everything like this. And that's a very efficient way to create storytelling. And but with a structure, you can use any or anything, everything fall apart. It needs the structure, the storytelling need the structure for everything. And without it, well, AI can go so many different ways, and you will be like, "Oh, but that's my brand archetype. Oh no, this way is cooler or anything." It's not about being cooler or anything, guys. It's about what is true to your core value, what is true to like who you are, how you explain things. That's what it is. It's not an AI that has to tell you who you are and what you need to do. Not at all. Unless if you do SEO for website, but that's a different ideas. But But yeah, it's like it's most like AI need to be structured, organized, and everything. And yeah, you can do also like what we call chain of verification, LLM prompting, chain of command, chain of verification. It reduces hallucination for large LLM. Also chain of command, but yeah, like that's literally what you need to do with the AI to be able to structure your story or anything that you want to build with AI, videos or anything, and that's gonna bring you to literally the next level for your business, for your strategy, or anything. Um, yeah, and like the same thing, strategy is like the thing is that when you will shape your business or your offers and everything, um, the strategy is like the way I learned from animation movies that you build on the go. And that's the way I learned it is like building on the go is like you, but with the SEO spirit basically is basically the same way. Um, and yeah, it's like something where you learn by experimenting. Animation storytelling, SEO AI, you like the way I learn is like building by experimenting. I will do over this video as well. We've talking about AI, but yeah, it's like you have to experiment. You have to see what works, what doesn't work, and you evolve like this. You evolve in your way, in your thought process as well. And that's what you need to do. Like time to time, I watch videos about like okay, people talking about marketing storytelling, but a lot of time is like everything they say experimenting in movies in different way and but everybody was telling you yeah there's secret process or everything well the process like connecting that shouldn't be connected in the first place if you think about the movie Ratatouille literally uh Ratatouille that movie from Pixar well perfect oh yeah here it is the rat a genius cooker. You shouldn't be in the kitchen in the first place. And there it is, being the best chef in Paris. How can you come up with the idea of like a rat is gonna be the best chef in Paris to cook? That's in the first place, you're like, really, guys? What? How did you come up with something like this? Um, like yeah, it's like it's you're like, wow, that's a crazy one. And no, it just plug ideas that or unexpected. I always learn in an animation movie that you have to prepare yourself to the unexpected. Why? Because any kind of shots, any kind of stories, there will always be something unexpected to it, and you have to figure it out. And my goal as a storyteller, or also like creating with AI, building my own private AI, and anything is to figure out things, figure out how it works, figure out how I can come up with this thing or anything, and experiment as well. Experiment the process. Experiment with code as well or anything. And yeah, it's like how you do with it. When I was my first animation studio, I was in the academy. It was in the south of France, and I had also courses with Bash language and Python. So Bash language is like is all you yeah, shell is like how you is like the code for like Linux and everything. Or there is Python. Python also. I code a little bit with Python. And yeah, it's like how you and I'm on Mac and Mac like learning machine. They use Python a lot. And yeah, like all of them they build with Python. Um, and yeah, it's like how you come up with a story that is unexpected for people, literally. And that's what I love to do with my client. Coming with an unexpected story that themselves they are surprised when they hear the story. They're like, Alex, how did you come up with this thing? That's my whole life there. Yeah, because guys, I listen to what you need. I listen to you. And when I listen, I picture the story. And for me, the story is out there somewhere. And once I grab it, once I get it, it's there. It's like you have your story, you have it's the whole world is built for you. That's the way I process information, the way I process it. It's like this overwhelming feeling that I have. And also like the last thing is like I do also okay, if I type in brain book, yeah. I work also with okay, ready to go. That's cool. Yeah, brain book. Okay, give me one sec. Uh, where did it go? Okay, here it is. Okay, okay. There I have it. Just give me one sec. Okay, this is a brand book I did for like the medical client, and yeah, at the end we also like did all the expression and everything like this. So yeah, it's literally summarizing with their world, the core values, like who they are and everything like this. And yeah, it's helped a lot to explain like to a client like this is your world. This is right now, this is your world with your core values, your message, your tagline, everything. And yeah, that's how you can come up with like everything. And that's literally the beauty of storytelling. And yeah, doing that, I see the transformation after with clients during it and after when they have the story, they're like, wow, like there are the beautiful thing is that when they realize like there is something, it's something new in a way, and it summarizes everything they face in life, their challenge and everything. And yeah, that's the beauty of it, literally. And the more after they dig it, because I also give them some time to learn the story more and everything. And after we do another session when we work on storytelling pitch, so how you pitch the story. If we do like a role play networking event, how you pitch it, or like tell me okay one part of the story with the character or what the character is doing right now or anything. And yeah, it's a nice way to help them embody the character with their world, with their story. Because for me, the vision is way more important than the product itself. And by the time you sell the vision, people are hooked. They want to know more about it. And that's literally what you need to give them. Bring them a vision.